He's essentially completely awake with just some mild sedation. Not done under general anesthesia for a number of reasons, from safety to recovery, but really again about results. General anesthesia, I talk a lot about this, to me is a big a technical disadvantage in terms of positioning. So in this area of the neck, it is very important, vitally important to stay in that safe plane between the skin and muscle. Otherwise, if the surgeon is in there and they're jabbing things deeper, you can get into concerning structures, blood vessels, nerves, all that stuff. So it's important to keep that safe plane. A part of that actually is ability, just that little thing, really is important in terms of the proper positioning as I'm working through this area over here. So again, I don't like procedures under general anesthesia, liposuction, really for positioning reasons. So this is a quick 30 to 45 minute procedure, again under local anesthesia. Step one is tumescent anesthesia, water-assisted liposuction, where I'm going to tumescent the area completely. Just take a few minutes. This is the only part you'll feel a little pinching as the fluid is going into the tissue. The next part is using Vaser, which is ultrasonic energy, to emulsify that layer of fat and release a lot of the connective tissue bands. The third step is doing some micro liposuction, and finally we're going to use Renuvian J plasma to get maximal tightening of the tissue. So you can see that fluid slowly moving under the skin. Very slowly do this. Some surgeons that do this technique will use their tech or staff to do this part of things. I never do that. I find it's very important for the surgeon to very slowly and gently put the fluid in. And if it's done completely and properly, besides just numbing, you are again creating a bloodless field. You okay? Yeah. Good. A little bit of weird feeling. Good. So this is step two, where I'm releasing mechanically a lot of the fibrous bands. And we're going to do, step one is tumescent. Prepare the area. You can see the tissue is nice and white. And we create a nice bloodless field. Step two was one round of liposuction and mechanical release of fibrous tissue. This is step three, Vaser, using ultrasonic energy to further emulsify the fat. So you can hear that high-pitched sound. And you can actually feel yourself emulsifying and releasing the fibrous bands under the skin, which is important for a nice, smooth result. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead with step four. Typical tool used by many surgeons, micro air power assisted liposuction. I'm using a very small, flat-tipped spatula cannula under the skin and to do some micro liposuction. And I like spatula cannulas in the neck especially in terms of how they glide in that plane. So chin back all the way, suction on. Turn your head all the way to the left of me. I want to point out how small the little nicks are where this is oozing from. These are tiny little slits, about 1.5 millimeters in length, placed right under the ear on each side. Suction. Virtually never do I do the neck. I'm only making a midline nick. It should be done also from both sides too. And people will just do the central part and won't get this lateral part here, and this will retract and this will not retract in relation to it, and there will not be the best result. Now we're gonna go with step 5, the final step of the Renuvian J plasma for maximal tightening of the tissue. I use this, as you know, quite a bit in liposuction in many areas. Arms, it's a great area to tighten. The thigh area around the knees. Torso, great area to get maximum tightening, but it really works very well in the neck. I use basically 2 different devices. One is neck tight, radio frequency, and I also use Renuvian J plasma. This works by an ionized helium gas that's dispersed under the tissue and very quickly superheated to get sort of immediate contraction of collagen under the skin to get maximum tightening. Go ahead and put your head all the way back. Again, even with this, very important positioning. And you can start to see that light under the skin. Prior to these energy-based devices, such as neck tight and Renuvian, by just doing the lipo properly, you will get quite a bit of tightening. But it's not again about only removing the fat. It's about getting that tissue to tighten up. And positioning, counter-traction, very important, because we're trying to get that collagen under the skin to contract. You want to stay above the muscle, and you want to respect the skin. We are done with that whole procedure. That took about 35 minutes total. Again, a 5-step process, putting the fluid in, tumescing, 1 round of liposuction, mechanical release, vaser, micro liposuction, and finally removing J plasma. And now we're going to put some small little stitches in that are dissolvable. And these incisions heal in beautifully. They're virtually always completely imperceptible. Tiny little stitch here just to oppose the skin, not too tight. So I like to put 2 very tiny stitches in the midline incision, and there'll be 1 tiny little stitch under each earlobe. Again, you see that pinkish fluid oozing out, and you want that. You want to get sort of natural drainage going on. There are no drains put in. I never use drains, honestly, in any of my liposuction surgeries. They are not necessary if it's done properly. Good. Guess what? We are done. Yo. How was it? Not too bad, huh?
No, not at all.
Good.
Go again.
Go again? No. You're one and done. You will not need to do this again. How was the discomfort and pain?
Virtually no pain.
Virtually no pain.
Yeah.
And the important thing with this is not only is it going to do the short-term improvement and tightening of this whole area here, but the prevention. That's equally as important, if not more important. As the years go on, this will continue to drop and settle and get looser, and at some point it gets too loose to do this and get a great result. That would mean he would need a neck or facelift if that occurred. This is really going to prevent, for many, many years, any need for a facelift or neck lift procedure.